Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Take Back Your Awesome podcast with me, your host, Colette Morris. And what a glorious, glorious day it has been. If this is the first time you're listening to us, welcome and thank you for tuning in to the Take Back Your Awesome podcast show. If you are a regular, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe so that you'll hear our podcasts which come out every single week on Friday at 9 p.m. to help motivate you, reflect, and to help move you forward. And in today's podcast show, we will be talking about letting go. So what does letting go mean to you? Well, my queens, we are all awesome. We really, truly are. And I would just like to really recognize that some people believe holding on and hanging in there are signs of a great strength. However, there are times that it takes much more strength to know when to let go. And then even more strength to actually do it. So thank you, Anne Landers, for that magnificent quote. So I want you to reflect on that. It's not a sign of weakness to let go. It's not a sign of weakness to say that it's time to move on. It's a sign of strength. And one of the things that helped motivate me in my life was all the times that I faced letting go, I've moved on to do bigger and better things. When I was forced to actually take charge of my life, when my partner decided that he was going to leave us, meaning me and my two boys, and just depart. Although it was a case of him leaving, I still tried to hold on. And ladies, you know that feeling where you think there's something unresolved and you think there's hope and you think that, well, maybe there may be a chance. I just don't want to throw it all in because we have so much. We have a home and two children, and you want to make a life of it, right? You want to make a go of it because, you know, when you marry for life, or so you feel. And you just don't want to give up like that. But you see, something changed. Something changed that made me realize it's time to let go. In that relationship, I started to pack away the pictures that we had of the two of us together without even realizing that was me starting to let go. And there was a particular incident that came about. And it was one evening where I realized I'd reached out to my ex for help and support. And you know what? He turned around and denied it. And it was at that point I broke down in tears. I really broke down in tears because the realization hit me. I'm on my own. It hit me that it was time to let go. So yeah, I had my weep, I had my cry, all of 5 minutes because I had to get into action. I had to get on and do what I needed to do, which I did successfully. And from then on in, it taught me that there are times that we may not see it. We really, really may not see it. You may try to hang on, but you're hanging on to a limb. Have you noticed autumn is a beautiful, beautiful month? It's a beautiful season. Why? Because you see the leaves changing colour. They go from green to kind of a red, yellow and brown. And then they eventually fall off. They are let go. And it's a beautiful thing, because when you think about it, that tree has had to let go of those leaves. Why? Because then there's a period of rest. And then there's a period of renewed growth when spring comes and those buds start growing again. And then they burst into flower, and more seeds, more and more fruit bear from that tree. But that tree had to let go. It had to let go of those leaves in order to grow and be abundant. And we have to realize that in our lives. That for us to move on, for us to make headway, for us to look at the opportunities that are in front of us, we need to let go. You see, when opportunity comes to us, sometimes it doesn't come in the way that we're used to. It really doesn't come in the way that we're used to. When we ask, because it says in the Bible, ask and you shall receive. But when you ask, are you being detailed enough in what you're asking? Because this is what I've found. If you're not detailed enough, then you get what you ask for. If it's wishy-washy, you get wishy-washy. If you ask in general, you get general. But if you ask specifically, then you will get the specifics. So for me, to do the letting go, I had to take down those pictures that held emotion, that held feeling. And I had to take a step of faith, a step of courage, a step into the unknown, learning and leaving what was very known. I had the same kind of feeling when my son was about 5 years old, and I took him to school for the very first time, and a bit apprehensive, holding his hand, thinking, oh my gosh, how's he going to deal with this? Do I have to stand at the door and wait? Is he going to cry? But he just let my hand go and didn't even turn around to say bye. He just went, and my heart and my fears were just dropped right there and then. And then there was a time when, as I said, I was in a job situation, and it was really getting me down. I just dreaded going to work every day. I feared getting up every morning and doing that journey in on the train going into the city. And I really started to hate my job. And it was a job that I'd learned to love before. And I really wanted a way out, but I didn't know how, because obviously I'm now here on my own, and I needed that job. I needed that money. I needed to pay the bills. But at the same time, it wasn't making me happy. And then an opportunity came. An opportunity came for me to go for redundancy. It was scary. I really did deliberate it. I was chewing it over in my head. I was thinking, I'm still young enough to actually go out there and do good and find something that I like. But at the same time, I needed a steady job, because I needed to pay my bills and to live in the luxury that I'd built myself up for. But you know what happened? I was actually pushed for this redundancy. And you know what? Thank God I was, because it's led me to an even bigger opportunity, one that I could never have imagined. And I have to give all thanks and grace to God for that, because it's something that was never in my imagination. But when I left that job, I went on to become a contractor, to work for myself, something that I'd never ever dreamed of doing. But it was a suggestion that was put to me when I'd been made redundant. So what are you going to do next? And someone said, with the skills that I have, I can go out there and I can help others, and I can actually increase my income. So that is what I did. That is really what I did. I just went out there and I became a contractor. I was fortunate enough to be called back to the place that I just left for double the money that I was on before. My life and my career has just moved on since then. So those times when you feel in your life that you have to let go, you know those feelings, because we all get those feelings, because we feel fearful. We have self-doubt in our heads. But sometimes you have to let go to let grow. So let's get grateful as we let go. Because you know what? If I didn't let go of that marriage, of that relationship, of my husband, I wouldn't have met my awesome soulmate that I've got in my life now. So I had to let go for something new to grow. Just remember that. Remember that you can also trust God, because God is doing something else. Because sometimes when you ask and He says no, it's because He's got something bigger. And then when the opportunity comes, it comes thick and fast. And you think, whoa, where did that come from? But you know it's because of the divine, right? Doesn't a tree grow, blossom, and let that blossom go? And then from that letting go before, more trees are found in other places or a season. See, sometimes this tree looks empty for a season, but it's making space for new blossoms. So is it time to let go of something? And if so, let me give you courage that this bend in the road is no surprise for the King who made you. He has good plans for you, and He is intimately acquainted in all of your ways. So may we be brave and strong and let go of all the things, the expectations, the opinions, the fears, the bitterness, the status, the jealousy, the comparison, the disappointments and of others, and judgments and addiction to approval. May we let go of what is negative, just not right, unhealthy or toxic. May we let go of who we think we're supposed to be, and just let go to let grow. If you're in a situation right now where you're around negative people, those negative people are dragging you down. And if you try and make a change and make a shift away from that, and they see that, what do? They try and hold you back. They pour more negativity on you to try and keep you there. Just like the crabs in the bucket. There's a story about if you put a lot of crabs in the bottom of a bucket and one crab tries to get out and climbs on top of the others then try to pull him back into the bucket, so he never gets out. So he never tries to get out. Don't be like that crab in the bucket. If you're around negativity right now, the best thing you can do is move into a positive circle. If you can't do that on a physical level, then go on social media, because social media is a godsend. There is so much positivity out there.